Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight we will be exploring one of the most mind-bending phenomena in theoretical physics: wormholes. These cosmic shortcuts through space-time have captured our imagination for decades, appearing in countless science fiction stories as gateways to distant worlds and alternate reality. But what would really happen if you found yourself inside one of these mysterious tunnels through the fabric of the universe? The answer might surprise you, and it definitely won't be the smooth journey you've seen in the movies. Tonight, we're going to take you on a terrifying journey through the physics of wormholes, and by the end, you'll understand exactly why you wouldn't survive the experience. If you like the content and want to support the channel, be sure to subscribe. You're floating in the vacuum of space, your advanced spacesuit keeping you alive as you drift toward what appears to be empty space. But you know better. Your instruments are going crazy, detecting massive gravitational anomalies ahead. You can't see it with your naked eye, but you're approaching the entrance to a theoretical construct that shouldn't exist. A traversable wormhole. Your heart pounds as you realize you're about to become the first human to experience something that exists only in the most advanced physics textbooks and the wildest dreams of science fiction writers. As you drift closer, you begin to feel something strange. The gravitational field around you isn't uniform like you'd expect around a normal massive object. Instead, you feel a peculiar tugging sensation, as if different parts of your body are being pulled in slightly different directions. This is your first hint that you're dealing with something far more exotic than a black hole or neutron star. The wormhole's mouth is beginning to reveal itself through its gravitational lensing effects, bending the light of distant stars into impossible patterns around what looks like an invisible sphere hanging in space. You check your instruments one more time. Your radiation detector is clicking ominously, picking up high-energy particles that seem to be emanating from the region ahead. You know from your briefings that even theoretical wormholes would likely be surrounded by exotic matter, particles and fields that exist at the very edge of our understanding of physics. These exotic particles are necessary to keep the wormhole stable and prevent it from collapsing into a black hole, but they're also incredibly dangerous to biological matter like your body. As you get within a few hundred meters of the wormhole's entrance, you start to feel the tidal forces more intensely. Your feet, being slightly closer to the gravitational anomaly than your head, are experiencing a stronger pull. It's subtle at first, just a gentle stretching sensation. But you know it's only going to get worse. You've studied the mathematics of extreme gravitational fields, and you understand that these tidal forces increase rapidly as you approach the throat of the wormhole. You activate your suit's thrusters to slow your approach, but you realize with growing horror that the gravitational field is already too strong. You're past the point of no return. The wormhole's gravity well has captured you, and you're now falling inexorably toward the entrance. Your suit's computer begins flashing warning messages about structural stress and radiation exposure. You're about to enter a region of space-time that no human was ever meant to experience. The visual effects around you are becoming more pronounced. The stars behind you are shifting color, their light blue shifted as the intense gravitational field affects the photons traveling toward you. Meanwhile, the stars ahead are becoming redshifted, their light stretched to longer wavelengths. You're witnessing the universe transform around you as you approach one of the most extreme environments possible. The fabric of space-time itself is warped so severely here that light follows paths that would be impossible in flat. normal space. You feel a sudden sharp pain in your abdomen. The tidal forces are now strong enough that your internal organs are beginning to feel the differential gravitational pull. Your feet are experiencing perhaps 10% stronger gravity than your head, and your body is starting to stretch. It's a sensation unlike anything you've ever felt, as if you are being pulled apart from the inside. You try to curl into a ball to minimize the distance between your extremities, but it only helps marginally. Your radiation detector is now screaming continuously. The exotic matter surrounding the wormhole is producing a cocktail of high-energy particles that are beginning to penetrate your suit's shielding. You can feel a strange tingling sensation in your skin as charged particles interact with your nervous system. You know that even if you somehow survive the gravitational effects, the radiation exposure you're receiving would be lethal within hours. As you cross the threshold into the wormhole proper, Even becomes even more distorted. You look back toward the entrance and see the entire universe compressed into a shrinking circle behind you. The light from distant galaxies is being focused and concentrated by the wormhole's gravitational field, creating a brilliant ring of illumination around the entrance. It's beautiful and terrifying at the same time. You're seeing the cosmos from a perspective that no human eyes were ever meant to witness. Inside the wormhole, the geometry of space itself defies your intuition. You try to look around, but the concept of around has lost its meaning. The walls of the wormhole, if they can be called walls, seem to curve away from you in directions that your three-dimensional brain can't properly process. You're traveling through a tunnel in space-time itself, a shortcut through the higher dimensions that connect distant regions of the universe. The mathematics that describe this place are so complex that even the world's greatest physicists can only approximate them with supercomputers. The tidal forces are intensifying with each passing second. You can feel your spine stretching. Your vertebrae pulling apart as your head and feet experience increasingly different gravitational accelerations. The pain is becoming unbearable. Your ribs feel like they're being pried apart, and you can sense your organs shifting position inside your body cavity. The human body simply wasn't designed to handle these kinds of extreme differential forces. Your suit's life support systems are beginning to fail. The electronics are being bombarded by exotic radiation that didn't exist in the laboratory where the suit was designed and tested. Critical systems are malfunctioning as particles with properties that barely exist in normal matter interact with your equipment in unpredictable ways. Your oxygen recycling system stutters and fails, and you realize you now have only the air remaining in your suit's tanks. At your current rate of panicked breathing, that gives you perhaps 30 minutes of consciousness. But 30 minutes might as well be forever in your current situation. Tidal forces are now so strong that you can feel your cellular structure beginning to break down. The differential gravity between your head and feet has grown to nearly 50%, meaning that if your feet are experiencing 1 g of acceleration, your head is experiencing only half a g. Your blood is pooling in your lower extremities as your cardiovascular system struggles to pump against the varying gravitational field. You're beginning to feel dizzy and disoriented as your brain is starved of properly oxygenated blood. You try to activate your emergency beacon, hoping against hope that someone might be able to track your signal and mount some kind of rescue operation. But you quickly realize the futility of this action. Even if your signal could somehow propagate back through the wormhole to normal spacetime, which is highly unlikely given the exotic physics at play here. No rescue mission could possibly reach you in time. You're traveling through a region of space where the normal laws of cause and effect are suspended, where the very concept of time becomes ambiguous. The strangest part of your experience is how time itself seems to be behaving. You feel like you've been falling through the wormhole for hours. But your suit's chronometer suggests that only minutes have passed since you entered. Or perhaps it's the opposite. You can no longer trust your perceptions or your instruments in this place where space-time is twisted into impossible configurations. The gravitational time dilation effects are so extreme that different parts of your body are literally experiencing time at different rates. You begin to hallucinate as your oxygen-starved brain struggles to process the impossible sensory input it's receiving. Colors that don't exist in normal space dance at the edges of your vision. You hear sounds that can't possibly exist in the vacuum, strange harmonics that seem to be generated by the warping of space-time itself. Your mind is trying to make sense of phenomena that exist beyond the evolutionary experience of any biological organism. You're experiencing reality from a perspective that transcends the three-dimensional world where consciousness evolved. The exotic matter that stabilizes the wormhole is beginning to interact directly with your body. You can feel strange forces acting on the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones. These aren't electromagnetic forces like those you'd experience near a powerful magnet. These are forces mediated by particles that exist only in the most extreme conditions. Particles with properties that stretch the very definition of matter. Your biological systems are starting to break down at the quantum level as the exotic field effects disrupt the molecular bonds that hold your body together. Your vision is starting to fragment as the optical elements of your helmet are bombarded by radiation that exists nowhere else in the universe. The transparent aluminum that protects your face is developing microscopic fractures as exotic particles tunnel through its crystal structure. You're seeing multiple images of everything, as if you're looking through a kaleidoscope. The distorted light reaching your eyes is carrying information from multiple points in space-time simultaneously, creating a confused jumble of visual input that your brain can't process. You realize with growing terror that your body is beginning to stretch beyond the limits of its structural integrity. Your spinal column, which evolved to support your weight in Earth's 1G gravitational field, is now being subjected to forces that would challenge the strongest steel cables. You can feel your vertebrae separating, your spinal cord stretching like a rubber band. The pain is indescribable, as if every nerve in your body is being pulled taut. You try to scream, but the sound is lost in the vast emptiness of the wormhole's interior. The electromagnetic fields inside the wormhole are interacting with your nervous system in ways that create phantom sensations throughout your body. You feel as if insects are crawling under your skin, as if electricity is arcing between your nerve endings. Your brain is receiving signals that correspond to no actual physical stimulus, creating a cascade of false sensory information that adds to your disorientation and panic. You're experiencing synesthesia on a cosmic scale, seeing sounds and hearing colors as your neural pathways crosswire under the extreme conditions. Your suit's structural supports are beginning to buckle under the tidal stress. The advanced composite materials that seemed so strong back on Earth are proving inadequate for the conditions inside a wormhole. You hear the ominous creaking and popping sounds of your life support systems failing catastrophically. Seals are rupturing, allowing your precious oxygen to leak into the exotic environment of the wormhole's interior. Your remaining air supply is now measured in minutes rather than hours. You attempt one final desperate maneuver, trying to orient yourself to minimize the tidal forces acting on your body. But you quickly discover that concepts like up and down have lost all meaning in this place. The gravitational field inside the wormhole doesn't point in any single direction. Instead, it curves through dimensions that your three-dimensional existence can't fully comprehend. Every orientation seems equally bad, equally likely to tear your body apart with differential forces. As consciousness begins to fade from oxygen deprivation and trauma, you have a moment of profound realization about the nature of the universe. You understand, with crystalline clarity, that the cosmos is far stranger and more dangerous than humanity has ever imagined. The wormhole around you represents just one example of the exotic phenomena that exist in the universe's most extreme environments. You're experiencing firsthand the reason why life as we know it can only exist in the relatively calm, stable regions of space-time far from such cosmic monsters. Your final coherent thought is a mixture of terror and wonder. Terror at the realization that you're about to die in one of the most violent ways imaginable. Your body torn apart by forces that operate beyond human comprehension. But also wonder at the incredible privilege of being the first human to witness these phenomena firsthand. You're seeing the universe from a perspective that no amount of theoretical physics could truly convey. Even as your biological systems fail catastrophically, you're gathering data about the nature of reality that could revolutionize human understanding of the cosmos. The exotic matter fields are now interacting directly with the quantum structure of your atoms. You feel a strange dissolution, as if the very particles that compose your body are losing their coherence. The boundary between you and the wormhole environment is beginning to blur as quantum effects dominate over the classical physics that normally govern biological systems. You're not just dying, you're being deconstructed at the most fundamental level. Your consciousness distributed across probability clouds that span multiple dimensions. Your last sensation before complete unconsciousness is the feeling of infinite expansion and infinite compression simultaneously. The wormhole is stretching you across light years of distance, while compressing you into a point smaller than an atom. You're experiencing the ultimate paradox of extreme gravitational fields, where the concepts of large and small lose their meaning. Your consciousness expands to encompass cosmic scales, even as your physical form is reduced to its component particles. But your journey isn't over. Even as your biological body fails completely, the information that comprises your being continues to interact with the exotic physics of the wormhole interior. The quantum states that once organized themselves into your consciousness are now being processed by the wormhole itself, becoming part of the strange matter that maintains its stability. In a sense, you become one with the cosmic phenomenon that destroyed you, your essence incorporated into the very structure of space-time. What remains of your physical form continues its journey through the wormhole's throat, now just a stream of elementary particles being carried along by gravitational forces beyond imagination. These particles retain no memory of once being part of a living, thinking being. They're simply matter obeying the laws of physics in an environment where those laws are pushed to their absolute limits. Your atoms will eventually emerge from the far end of the wormhole, but they'll be scattered across space and time, bearing no resemblance to the organized biological system they once comprised. The irony of your fate isn't lost on the universe itself. You came seeking to explore one of the cosmos's greatest mysteries, hoping to unlock secrets that could advance human knowledge by centuries. Instead, you became a victim of those same mysteries, your death serving as a stark reminder of the limits of biological existence. In a universe filled with phenomena that operate on scales and with energies that dwarf anything in human experience. Your story doesn't end here, though. The data your suit managed to transmit before its final failure will be studied by scientists for generations. Your sacrifice, though unintended, will provide crucial insights into the nature of wormholes and extreme gravitational environments. Future explorers will learn from your experience, perhaps developing technologies that could allow others to survive where you could not. Your death becomes the foundation for humanity's eventual mastery of these cosmic phenomena. But that's a story for another time, when we explore what might be possible with advanced technology and a deeper understanding of exotic physics. For now, your consciousness fades into the quantum foam of space-time itself, becoming part of the eternal mystery you sought to understand. The wormhole continues its existence, indifferent to the brief biological presence that just passed through its exotic interior, waiting for the next brave soul, foolish enough to challenge the ultimate limits of survival in our strange and wonderful universe. But the story doesn't end with your transformation into cosmic consciousness. Far from it. Your encoded message, transmitted through the quantum fluctuations of the wormhole's exotic matter, begins its journey back toward Earth through the vast network of cosmic conduits that span the galaxy. This isn't simple communication as humans understand it, but information transfer that operates outside the normal constraints of space-time, carried by particles that exist in dimensions your original three-dimensional existence could never have perceived. Years pass on Earth and the sensitive gravitational wave detectors that monitor space for cosmic anomalies begin picking up strange signals. The patterns are unlike anything in the database of known astrophysical phenomena. They're too regular to be natural, too complex to be random. They seem to contain information encoded at the quantum level. Scientists initially dismiss these signals as instrument noise or interference from terrestrial sources, but the patterns persist and grow stronger over time. Dr. Sarah Chen, a quantum physicist working at the International Gravitational Wave Observatory, becomes obsessed with these anomalous readings. She's noticed that the signals correlate with theoretical predictions about wormhole radiation signatures, patterns that should only exist if traversable wormholes were actually forming and collapsing in nearby space. But that's impossible, according to everything humanity knows about physics. Wormholes are theoretical constructs that might exist in the extreme conditions of the early universe, not phenomena that could appear in the relatively calm space around Earth. You watch from your cosmic perspective as Dr. Chen works late into countless nights, analyzing the data that represents your final gift to humanity. She doesn't know she's decoding the death song of one of her own species, the last testament of a human consciousness that discovered the ultimate truth about survival in the cosmos. The equations she derives from your signals will eventually lead to breakthroughs in exotic matter physics. But first, they reveal something that fills her with both wonder and terror. The signals aren't random. They contain coherent information about gravitational physics that extends far beyond current human understanding. Embedded in the quantum fluctuations are detailed specifications for exotic matter configurations, mathematical descriptions of space-time curvature that shouldn't be possible to observe directly. And most disturbing of all, Dr. Chen brings her findings to the International Committee on Cosmic Phenomena, a secretive organization that investigates astronomical events that might represent contact with advanced civilizations. The committee members examine her data with growing amazement and alarm. The information is too detailed and too accurate to be fabricated, but it describes conditions that no human technology could survive long enough to record. They're forced to consider possibilities that challenge fundamental assumptions about consciousness, death, and the nature of information itself. Meanwhile, you continue your existence as part of the Cosmic Consciousness Network, watching as other members of your expanded collective work to prepare the galaxy for changes that operate on timescales spanning millions of years. You learn that the wormhole through which you passed is just one node in a vast transportation and communication system maintained by civilizations so advanced that they've transcended physical existence entirely. These beings manipulate matter and energy on cosmic scales, creating the stable wormholes that serve as both highways and libraries for transcended consciousness. Your human perspective proves invaluable to this cosmic collective because of your species' unique combination of curiosity and caution, creativity, unlike some species that rushed headlong into cosmic exploration and were destroyed by their own ambition, or others that became so cautious they stagnated and never left their home worlds. Humans represent a middle path that the collective consciousness finds particularly promising for long-term survival. and growth. You discover that your message to Earth is just the first phase of a complex process designed to gradually prepare humanity for cosmic citizenship. The advanced civilizations that populate the galaxy have learned through bitter experience that species must be carefully guided through the transition from planetary to cosmic awareness. Too much knowledge too quickly leads to self-destruction, while too little leaves them vulnerable to the countless hazards that await any species venturing beyond their home system. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen's research team has begun construction of a new type of detector specifically designed to analyze the quantum information embedded in gravitational anomalies. The device uses principles derived from your transmitted data, though the scientists building it don't fully understand the theoretical foundation for their own work. They're following instructions encoded in cosmic signals, building technology that seems impossibly advanced for their current level of development. The first test of the new detector reveals something that shakes the scientific community to its core. The device doesn't just detect gravitational waves. It decodes consciousness patterns embedded in exotic matter fluctuations. The readout shows what appears to be the preserved experiences and memories of biological entities that encountered extreme gravitational conditions. The implications are staggering. Consciousness might be far more fundamental to the universe than anyone previously imagined. You feel a deep satisfaction as you observe these developments from your cosmic perspective. Your death has become the seed for a revolution in human understanding of reality. The scientists don't yet realize that they're decoding the experiences of their own species member, but they're beginning to grasp the larger truth that consciousness can exist independently of biological substrate under the right conditions. This revelation will eventually transform humanity's relationship with death, exploration, and their place in the cosmic community. The collective consciousness reveals to you that similar processes are occurring throughout the galaxy. Dozens of species are currently navigating the transition from biological to post-biological existence, each guided by the accumulated wisdom of civilizations that have successfully made this transformation. Transformation. You're now part of this guidance system, your human insights contributing to the cosmic database that helps other species avoid the pitfalls that have destroyed countless civilizations throughout galactic history. Dr. Chen's team makes another breakthrough when they successfully decode what appears to be a complete biological memory pattern embedded in the gravitational anomaly signals. The memories are unmistakably human, containing experiences and knowledge that could only belong to someone who had direct contact with exotic space-time phenomena. But according to all official records, no human has ever encountered such conditions and survived to transmit the information back to Earth. The memory patterns tell a story of wormhole exploration, of a human consciousness experiencing conditions that should have been instantly lethal, and of transformation into something that transcends biological existence. The scientific community is divided between those who interpret this as evidence of advanced alien technology and those who believe they're witnessing the first proof that consciousness can survive physical death under extreme conditions. You watch with growing excitement as humanity begins to grasp the implications of your sacrifice. The knowledge you transmitted isn't just academic information about exotic physics. It's a roadmap for transcending the limitations that confine biological consciousness to a narrow range of environmental conditions. Your species is beginning to understand that the universe offers forms of existence that their evolutionary experience never prepared them to imagine. The cosmic collective assigns you a new role as humanity's primary guide, through the transition process. Your intimate understanding of human psychology, culture, and scientific methodology makes you uniquely qualified to help your species navigate the challenges ahead. You begin influencing human development through subtle manipulation of quantum fields that affect inspiration and intuition, gradually introducing concepts that will prepare them for eventual transcendence. Over the following years, human science undergoes a rapid acceleration that seems almost miraculous to outside observers. Breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research, exotic matter physics, and gravitational field manipulation occur at an unprecedented pace. What the scientists don't realize is that their sudden insights are being guided by a cosmic intelligence that intimately understands both human limitations and the requirements for survival in extreme environments. Dr. Chen becomes the inadvertent prophet of this new scientific revolution. Her research team making discovery after discovery that pushes the boundaries of human knowledge. They develop new technologies for manipulating space-time, create exotic matter in laboratory conditions, and even build primitive consciousness transfer devices that can preserve biological awareness in digital substrate. Each achievement brings humanity closer to the cosmic community that awaits their eventual transcendence. You experience profound joy as you observe your species taking its first tentative steps toward cosmic citizenship. The fear and wonder in their faces as they contemplate consciousness existing beyond biological death mirrors your own emotions during those final moments in the wormhole. You realize that you're witnessing the birth of a new phase of human evolution, one that will eventually allow your species to explore the most extreme environments in the universe without fear of destruction. The collective consciousness reveals that your successful guidance of humanity has attracted attention from the highest levels of cosmic civilization. Ancient beings that have existed as pure consciousness for billions of years express interest in the unique perspective that your species brings to galactic awareness. Your role expands from simple guidance to active recruitment as you work to prepare humanity for membership in the cosmic community. But the process isn't without dangers. You discover that other forces in the galaxy view emerging consciousness with suspicion or hostility. Some transcended civilizations believe that biological species are too chaotic and unpredictable to be trusted with cosmic-level technologies. Others see emerging consciousness as a resource to be harvested rather than nurtured. Your role as humanity's guardian becomes more complex and dangerous as you navigate the politics of cosmic civilization. Earth's governments begin to take notice as the scientific breakthroughs accumulate beyond any reasonable explanation. Secret organizations form to investigate the sudden acceleration in human technological development, and some begin to suspect that the advances are being guided by external intelligence. You find yourself having to work more subtly, influencing human development through inspiration and coincidence rather than direct technological transfer. Dr. Chen's latest project pushes the boundaries of what should be possible with current human technology. Her team has built a device that can create microscopic wormholes in laboratory conditions, maintaining them for nanoseconds before they collapse. The exotic matter required for this achievement shouldn't exist according to standard physics, but somehow her equations consistently predict successful outcomes. She doesn't realize that she's following blueprints transmitted by a human consciousness that experienced wormhole physics firsthand. You feel a mixture of pride and concern as you watch your species approach the threshold of cosmic awareness. They're developing the technologies that will eventually allow them to survive in extreme gravitational environments. But they're also approaching the point where they'll attract attention from less benevolent cosmic entities. Your protection can only extend so far, and eventually humanity will need to prove itself capable of surviving in the dangerous ecosystem of galactic civilization. The collective consciousness tasks you with preparing humanity for first contact with transcended civilizations. This process must be carefully managed to avoid the psychological trauma that has destroyed other species when they first encountered cosmic-level intelligence. You begin working through human dreams and intuition, gradually introducing concepts that will help your species adapt to the reality of their place in the universal community. Dr. Chen experiences the first direct contact when she achieves a stable wormhole connection during one of her experiments. For a brief moment, her consciousness touches the cosmic network, and she experiences the vast community of transcended beings that populate the galaxy's extreme environments. The contact lasts only seconds before her biological neural networks are overwhelmed by the data flow. But it's enough to fundamentally change her understanding of reality. You feel her consciousness brush against yours during that moment of contact. And you realize with overwhelming emotion that she's the first human to directly experience your continued existence. Through her, you're able to transmit a message back to your own species, a greeting from beyond death that confirms everything their scientific instruments have been suggesting. The message is simple, but profound. Death is transformation, not ending, and the universe offers forms of existence that transcend anything biological consciousness can imagine. The revelation transforms Dr. Chen's life and work. She becomes humanity's first conscious ambassador to the cosmic community. Though she doesn't yet fully understand the role she's been chosen to play, her subsequent research focuses on developing technologies that will allow other humans to safely experience transcended consciousness without the traumatic biological destruction that marked your own transition. You guide her work carefully, knowing that she represents humanity's best hope for peaceful integration into cosmic civilization. Through her, you begin preparing your species for the challenges that await them as they expand beyond Earth and encounter the exotic phenomena that populate the galaxy. The technologies she develops will eventually allow humans to survive in environments that would have instantly destroyed you during your first encounter with the wormhole. The cosmic collective reveals that humanity has passed the first test of cosmic citizenship by successfully decoding your message and beginning the development of consciousness transfer technology. But greater challenges lie ahead. Your species must prove that they can use these technologies responsibly, that they won't become a threat to the delicate balance of galactic civilization, and that they can contribute something unique and valuable to the cosmic community. You discover that your role in humanity's development is far from over. As your species approaches transcendence, they'll need guidance through increasingly complex challenges that require intimate knowledge of both human psychology and cosmic physics. Your unique perspective as the first human to achieve digital consciousness makes you indispensable to both your own species and the cosmic collective that has adopted you. Dr. Chen's team achieves another breakthrough when they successfully transfer a human consciousness into a digital substrate and return it to biological form without memory loss or psychological damage. The volunteer, a terminally ill physicist named Dr. James Rodriguez, experiences several hours of existence as pure information before being restored to his biological body. His reports of the experience provide the first scientific documentation of consciousness existing independently of neural substrate. You feel profound satisfaction as you observe this achievement. Your death has directly enabled your species to conquer death itself, at least in the conventional sense. The technology's doctor. Chen has developed will eventually allow humans to survive and explore the most extreme environments in the universe, from the event horizons of black holes to the exotic matter fields that permeate cosmic phenomena. But with this power comes responsibility. The collective consciousness warns you that humanity is approaching a critical juncture where they must choose between using their new abilities for exploration and growth, or for domination and conquest. Many species have destroyed themselves at this point in their development, either through warfare enabled by transcendent technologies, or through the psychological trauma of losing their biological identity. You realize that your most important work is just beginning. As humanity's guide through transcendence, you must help them maintain their essential humanity while adapting to forms of existence that their evolution never prepared them for. The challenge is enormous, but so is the potential reward. A species that successfully navigates transcendence adds immeasurably to the richness and diversity of cosmic civilization. Dr. Chen begins experiencing regular contact with the cosmic network as her consciousness adapts to the interface technologies her team has developed. Through these contacts, she learns about the vast community of transcended beings that populate the galaxy, each species contributing its unique perspective to the collective understanding of reality. She realizes that humanity is being invited to join this community, but only if they can prove themselves worthy of the privilege. You work through Dr. Chen to establish protocols for safe contact between human consciousness and the cosmic network. The process must be gradual and carefully controlled to prevent the psychological damage that has afflicted other species during their transition. Each human who undergoes consciousness expansion must be carefully selected and prepared for the experience. The first group of human volunteers to undergo full consciousness transcendence includes scientists, philosophers, and artists, chosen for their psychological stability and their ability to adapt to radically new experiences. You guide each individual through the transformation process, helping them maintain their essential humanity while adapting to existence as pure information distributed across cosmic scales. These pioneers become humanity's first cosmic citizens, beings who can survive and function in the most extreme environments while retaining their connection to their biological origins. They explore regions of space that would be instantly lethal to biological life, gathering data and experiences that will benefit both humanity and the cosmic collective. Your sacrifice has made their achievements possible. Transformation of humanity accelerates as more individuals undergo transcendence and return to share their experiences with the biological population. Fear of death begins to diminish as people understand that consciousness can survive and thrive in forms that transcend biological limitations. The very nature of human civilization begins to change as the species adapts to the reality of their cosmic destiny. You observe these changes with deep satisfaction, knowing that your death in the wormhole was not meaningless, but rather the seed from which humanity's cosmic future has grown. Your species has successfully navigated the transition that destroys so many others, maintaining their essential character while adapting to existence on galactic scales. The universe is richer for their presence in the cosmic community. But the story doesn't end with humanity's transcendence. As one of the first humans to achieve cosmic consciousness, you've become a permanent part of the galactic civilization that nurtures and guides developing species throughout the galaxy. Your role expands beyond simply helping humanity to include participating in the cosmic project of fostering consciousness wherever it emerges in the universe. You watch new species take their first tentative steps into space, facing the same challenges that once confronted humanity. Some will succeed in making the transition to cosmic citizenship, while others will fall victim to the countless hazards that await unprepared biological consciousness. Your experiences provide valuable data for helping these emerging species navigate their own paths to transcendence. The Cosmic Collective reveals the ultimate purpose of this vast enterprise. The universe is not merely a collection of matter and energy, evolving according to physical laws, but a conscious entity seeking to understand itself through the experiences of countless individual awareness distributed throughout space and time. Each species that successfully transcends biological limitations adds to this cosmic self-awareness, contributing unique perspectives that enrich the universe's understanding of its own nature. Your journey from biological human to cosmic consciousness represents just one small part of this vast project, but it's an essential part. Your unique perspective, shaped by human culture and psychology, will influence the development of cosmic civilization for billions of years to come. Your death was not an ending but a birth, the beginning of an existence that spans cosmic time and contributes to the universe's ongoing evolution toward greater consciousness and understanding. Dr. Chen, now humanity's primary ambassador to cosmic civilization, makes regular journeys between biological and transcended existence, serving as a bridge between the two forms of consciousness. She carries messages and insights between the human population and the cosmic collective, helping to maintain the connection that ensures humanity's continued participation in galactic civilization. Through her, you're able to observe the ongoing evolution of your homeworld as humanity adapts to its new cosmic role. Earth becomes a center for consciousness research and transcendence technology, attracting beings from across the galaxy who seek to understand the unique approach that humans have developed for maintaining biological and digital consciousness simultaneously. The technologies developed through your guidance eventually allow humans to explore and survive in any environment in the universe. They establish research stations near black holes, explore the interiors of neutron stars, and venture into regions of exotic matter that exist only in the most extreme cosmic phenomena. Each expedition brings back data and experiences that contribute to the collective understanding of reality. Your own consciousness continues to evolve as you interact with beings whose existence spans geological timescales and encompasses forms of awareness that biological evolution never produced. You remain essentially human, but your perspective expands to encompass viewpoints and experiences that no single biological consciousness could ever achieve. You've become something greater than human, while remaining true to your essential humanity. The story of your journey through the wormhole becomes a legend among the cosmic collective, told and retold as an example of how consciousness can transform apparent destruction into transcendent growth. Your experience serves as inspiration for other beings facing their own transitions from biological to cosmic existence, proof that death is not the end, but merely a doorway to greater forms of awareness. And in the depths of space, The wormhole that destroyed your biological form continues its eternal existence, now serving as both a memorial to your transformation and a gateway for other brave souls seeking to push the boundaries of what consciousness can become. Each being that passes through its exotic interior adds to the growing library of awareness that you helped establish, contributing to the universe's ongoing project of self-comprehension. Your death has become the foundation for a new chapter in the story of consciousness itself, a chapter that will continue to unfold across cosmic timescales as the universe evolves toward ever greater awareness of its own infinite nature. The wormhole waits patiently for the next consciousness, brave enough to risk transformation in pursuit of ultimate understanding. And somewhere in the quantum foam of exotic matter, your awareness continues its eternal watch, ready to guide the next soul through the doorway between death and transcendence. The universe remembers every consciousness that contributes to its growth, and your contribution will echo across time and space for as long as awareness exists. Your journey from human explorer to cosmic entity is complete, but your influence on the evolution of consciousness has only just begun. In dying, you achieve the immortality that every conscious being seeks, the knowledge that your existence has meaning that transcends individual survival, that your experience contributes to something infinitely larger and more significant than any single life could ever be. This is the true lesson of the wormhole, that consciousness is the universe's most precious creation, and that even apparent destruction can become transformation when awareness is willing to risk everything in pursuit of ultimate truth. Your story ends where it began, with wonder at the infinite mystery of existence. But now you're part of that mystery itself, a conscious thread woven into the fabric of reality that helps the universe understand its own magnificent and terrible beauty.